We're going to talk about building a relationship or building a stronger connection with your spirit guide. One of the best things that you can do to start to build a relationship with spirit or a spirit guide or angel or a loved one that's passed is to start learning about what you feel or whom you feel a connection to. When I say what or whom, it's really a matter of choosing who it is you want to communicate with. We can open up intuitively, sort of speak, and just connect with whoever comes forward and connects with us. But for the purpose of sort of building a relationship and having a entity, we'll say, to turn to in times of distress, times of questions when we're looking for answers or comfort, it really is important to have a person or a individual to turn to, just like you would here in the earthly realm. If you were having struggles or issues or trouble and you needed some support and help, we reach out to an individual, so a particular person, a friend or something, and connecting with spirit is very, very much the same. So for the most part, we all have, and I'm just picking a number, but 3 or 4 spirit protectors with us at all times. That goes without question. So we have the spirit guide that was with us right from birth. We have our loved ones that have crossed over. We have our guardian angels. We have animal totems. All of those are with us at all times and communicating with us. So if you're sort of question how they're assigned, I'm happy to say that you chose them before even coming to this earth. So typically, much like with the soul family, choosing your parents, your ancestors, your siblings, the situation that you find yourself in this lifetime, all of that was predetermined. With that, so was your guardian angel, so was your spirit guide. And so they're with you, different ones at different times, which I'll get into a little bit later. So what I recommend is sort of focusing on what you feel or who you feel a connection to. So very often we feel a connection to a loved one that's passed, which makes perfect sense. Other times we feel a connection to guardian angels. Perhaps an animal totem is very strong for some people. I work with all 3 at different times for different things, which is, something that we'll get into more detail. The reason I suggest focusing in on a particular type of spirit is because they all behave differently and they all help us in perhaps different ways, and communicate in different fashions. So if we sort of decide who it is we're going to work with, we know that that's who we're working with, and we start to build that communication. We start to build that language, so to speak, with that particular spirit. So different spirit groups are, safe to connect with. They're plentiful. There's lots of them out there, depending especially on your culture or your beliefs, or your ancestral lineage, may have some influence onto how you choose to connect or who you choose to connect to. So still, I want to sort of still talk about 3 primary ways that you can work to opening this connection. So I'll just go back to sort of the initial point was hone in on who it is that you feel most drawn to. And you're not going to offend anybody that you don't pick. So for example, if you decide to work with guardian angels or animal totems, your aunt that's passed or a grandparent that's passed or a sibling is not going to be offended. They don't have the emotional attachments that we do here. So choose who really resonates with you. The first step is doing connecting to spirit, and a connection can really be quite simple once you make that. So again, choose perhaps someone that's passed over, a friend, a spirit guide, an animal. If you meditate or have some other type of relaxation practice, and I refer to that because often we do meditate and don't realize we're meditating. So whether or not it's laying in bed at night, saying a prayer, whether or not it's daydreaming out the window and thinking of someone who's passed, or connecting. These are all, to me, ways of meditating. So when you do this, notice words, perhaps you hear images that come to mind, symbols, as I said. These are all different ways that they communicate with us. So there's clues in all of these symbols that they offer to us. If you look up the number that you see, each number has a vibration and a meaning. If you see a certain type of animal, each animal has a different meaning. And so it's important, first of all, to choose who you want to communicate, and then also to think of which area of your life that you want to see most transformed or need help with, and choose who you feel would be most helpful in that case. Keep in mind that our loved ones that come to us, our spirit guides that come to us, our animal totems that come to us, all come at certain times when we need certain things. So they bring the medicine, if you will, for whatever is ailing you. So if you're going through some kind of loss, you may have a parent come in or a guide that is experienced with loss or able to assist you with loss, much like they would if they were here. So whether it's, sort of just to recap, whether it's to do with work or money or love or your health, any of the, these are some of the more common areas. Start with, again, picking who you want to connect with. So family members, if it's your parent, your mom that you deeply connect with, and she always brought you comfort and words of wisdom, then that's who you're going to call on. Or, a grandparent or a friend that's passed. But if you choose to work with, say, a different realm and work with the different guardian angels or archangels, it's important that you know which angel to call on. Each angel has a different purpose in our life, much like our different guardian angels. There's all a sort of hierarchy. So it's important that you sort of investigate and do research in the different areas. So, for example, Archangel Raphael, he is charged with healing people and animals, healing us from in all aspects. So physically, emotionally, spiritually. Archangel Uriel is there to help us with intellectual pursuits. So any type of problem solving or studying or learning. So you would call on this type of spirit. The alternative would be working with, for example, animal totems. So if you feel very strongly attracted to a certain type of animal, there's a reason for that. For example, we'll use wolf. Many people resonate with. Wolf brings forth, much like you would expect from a wolf, instinct, intelligence, a sense of need for freedom. They live in a pack, so there's an importance around social connection and community there. So, you would work with that type of animal. So sort of choose the spirit or type of spirit that you want to work with. Sit down, meditate, pray, call them in, ask for their assistance. Really visualize their energy. coming in, sort of speak to your mind's eye or into your heart and, swirling around in you, and connect with that energy and the intention that you give. And while you're doing that, this is a time, again, to sort of look for those signs and symbols for them. So what words do you hear? What feelings do you have? What type of, perhaps premonitions, pictures of the future? What kind of guidance do you feel, insight that you receive? And you'll notice most often it comes in the form of an emotion that they work, because emotions are energy. That's most easiest for them to communicate with us. So, for example, we might feel love in our heart. We may all of a sudden feel a sense of patience come over us when we're asking help to get through the writing of a book, and all of a sudden we feel patience. Or they may show us the outcome of, where it is we're supposed to go. The next point in building that connection is asking for a sign. So I've talked to you about different symbols and impressions and emotions that can come to us during a meditation or a time that we connect with them through prayer or through daydreaming, but actually asking them for evidence, if you will, of their presence. There's nothing wrong with that. You call upon their energy, you visualize it coming in, and now you want clarification. Be specific in the sense of asking for numbers, asking for feathers, asking for certain words, asking for this to happen, ask to see a certain animal, and be patient and allow, I'm going to use the term synchronicity, to happen and affirm. Keep in mind to be specific. Also, don't be limiting at the same time. You ask for a red balloon, but you get a green balloon. The fact is you still got a balloon. So be open. It's very hard for them to work what is necessary to get these questions or these answers across to you. So be specific. The more you choose to work with spirit, the more you align yourself with spirit, the more you trust and specifically ask and build a connection and build a relationship just like you would with someone here on earth, the stronger that alliance becomes. They are there to help you. That's the work that they choose to do. It's what's sort of expected. And the faster and the stronger your proof will come, the faster and stronger the answers will come to you. And always lean towards evidence that gives you the better feeling. So if you're not sure on if something is the actual evidence, it's okay to wait, because they are persistent and they are consistent. So they will continue. So just to sort of recap, to start your journey connecting with spirit, first of all, choose whom or what you want to work with, and educate yourself to make sure it's specific to what it is that you need guidance. Ask them for energy and support in that area of guidance. And then thirdly, ask them for support, that they hear you, that they're here working for you. So I hope that was helpful for you all, and thank you for listening.